Hello and welcome to another episode of the Veterans Corner. My name is Chuck Woodin. I'll be your host. Joined by my co-host on the other side of the table down there, Donna Dunyan.
Good evening, everyone.
Donna, for those who don't know, is the director of the Veteran Strong Community Center out of Bristol, Connecticut. We'll say Connecticut because there's a lot of folks that are out of the state that watch this.
And we get confused a lot with Bristol, Tennessee.
Rhode Island.
Bristol, Rhode Island. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, welcome to another great episode. We've got a group of people here today that have never been on a show before, and that's a lot. We aim for that a lot, but a lot of times we have folks back for updates and or double headers, and we have a great show today. Actually, we've been doing this since 2013, and I am surprised. I'm shocked that we haven't had you guys here yet. But you're here. We're going to learn a lot today. They do an enormous amount of good for our veteran community, and we're extremely lucky to have them here. And that is the Pinups for Warriors Incorporated. And Willow Clausen, she's the CEO and founder. We got Natalia Farragut.
It's okay. He does this once, at least a show.
Yeah, every show I mess up a name. Farrington. I apologize for that. We got to add a little bit of humor for each show just to start the show off right. That wasn't what I was aiming for, but anybody that watches this show knows that I always stumble a little bit with names.
It's not a show if you don't trip over your own tongue.
That's right. It always happens. Willow, you're a veteran.
Yes, sir.
Currently.
Yes.
Can you tell the viewers what branch, and just, you don't have to get into it, just when you served?
I am United States Navy Corpsman. I joined in 2002, and as of this taping today, I just re-enlisted for another 2 years. That will push me out to 24 years.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
Mind you, thank you. It is Navy Reserves, but hey, that's okay.
It's
You signed on the dotted line. That's all that matters.
Yes, I did. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I did it.
I'm going to touch on that. I have to.
Please.
Because, well, you're talking reserves.
Yeah.
There was a time back in the Rambo days, the movies and Weekend Warriors. The reserves have played such an important role in the last
20 years.
I can't do the math.
Over 20.
Since the early 90s.
Yeah.
The reserves are what carries a lot of our military operations.
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
So we're honored to have you here, and we're honored for on behalf of the Veterans Corner, the viewers. We want to thank you for your service.
No, thank you. Thank you for yours too.
Yeah. Natalia, you're not a veteran, but you come from a family of veterans.
That's correct.
Yeah, and what we always tell folks here that didn't serve, you are serving. You're serving now. You're serving the veterans community. We, as veterans, look at you as part of the veteran community because of everything you do for us and the veteran community. So thank you for your service.
Thank you.
It's much appreciated. With that being said, let's jump into it since I've probably taken up too much time here talking.
Yeah, these is a new guest. We need to give them as much time as we can. So we'll, Willow, can you let us know and let the viewers know what the mission of Pinups for Warriors is and where you're located too?
Oh, of course. Well, first off, we're in Canterbury, Connecticut. We're what we call the quiet corner of Connecticut, and we are a nonprofit 501c3 that touches on veteran suicide. So it's suicide prevention for our military members. Our primary goal is to be able to have veteran resources available, readily available 24/7, 365. It's a leap year, so 366 days out of the year. And the easiest and best way that we can do that is by what our primary fundraiser is our calendars. So I brought a couple, so if you guys want to take a look. What I do is our mission statement, is on the inside, somewhere hiding in here. Yeah, it's hiding in here. So if anybody wants to see it, they can go to our website. They can check in here on what our actual mission statement is. But our primary goal in doing what we do is down at the bottom of each month, if you can see that.
I don't know if we can get the cameras to zoom in on that.
Yeah. What we've done is our mission, our primary goal for the families of the veterans in trouble is to put the resources at the bottom of each month. So they're in the calendar. You don't have to think about it. It's hanging up on your wall. It's out in your garage, at work, and you don't have to think about it. All you have to do is if you see a family member in trouble, all you do is you just grab them, pick up your cell phone, go to the calendar, and call that number and say, "Hi, I need help. Can you please, help me out?" And that to me is the most important thing, and one of my primary reasons why I got started in doing this nonprofit is to help get the information out there and to help marry the people together, the counselors, the volunteers, with our veterans, our active duty members as well, and just get them to talk. I mean, our primary thing is, we're here for you. Let's talk about you.
Yes.
Yeah.
If we can get our veterans to talk, if we can get our military active, anybody, we just need them to talk. Please talk about what's going on. And then we have a better understanding of what's going on with them, how we can help them, and then how they can actually learn to help themselves.
Well, that is a difficult task.
Yeah.
You know that working at the center
Yeah.
To give veterans
That's a
to
loaded
talk.
question. How to bring them out, how to
Yeah.
get them to talk, how to get them to ask for help.
Right.
Yeah.
And well, the other little thing about it too is by putting it in calendar form like this, it's a pinups calendar.
Yeah.
It's fun to look at. Everything's there, and they don't have to even think about where to go either.
Yeah.
They just look at it and go, "Oh, pretty pictures," but there's the information.
And it helps now. It's got the 988. We'll put the
Yes.
number out there. It's 988.
988 is the new number, yes.
And it's so much easier than that 1-800 number.
And you
that
still press
everyone-
1. And
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt. But yeah, the 988, I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, they just put that into effect, what was it, about a year and a half
Yeah.
ago.
Yep.
And that has helped a lot of folks across the country be able to remember it's not this very long number. It's a little short number. If you need help, it's like calling 911 or 411 or 211. Now it's 988.
A lot of folks out there, the veteran community, they're not aware of that.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we try to put it out
Yeah.
wherever. I mean, I know it's on all my taglines and things.
We
As I
have to
try
make
to-
it a point on the show to make sure that we,
Yeah.
every show,
Maybe mention that.
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So, yeah, this is, and like Willow was saying, I mean, at the bottom of every month, every page, there's a resource. And of course, you've got the 988 number, and you've got other numbers for crisis lines, and outstanding resource.
How long have you been doing the pinups?
I came up with the idea somewhere around March of 2015. So I have been pushing, this is year 9 officially, and as of next year, we will be our 10th anniversary.
Awesome.
So we do have something special planned for the 10th anniversary.
Oh, well, we'll have to be sure to talk about that a little bit.
We can talk about it later.
Yeah, okay.
Afterwards.
Afterwards.
The pinup warriors. Who do the pinup warriors serve? Is it just the veteran community, or is it just veterans, or is it the whole community?
It started off with basically being the veteran community, but as I thought more into it, I was like, it's open to everybody. The families, the family members, even the community at large that may not have any military connections, but they have the calendar, they see it, they know they're in trouble. You can use these numbers. It doesn't matter if they're military, phone numbers or resources. If you are in need, do not be afraid to use those numbers. Just talk to the person on the other line and go, look, I need to talk to somebody. Can you please help me? And they will. It doesn't matter if you're civilian or not.
That's a very good point, because a lot of folks out there who are not veterans will look at that and say, well, I can't call that number. To reinforce what Willow says, call the number. You will receive help. It's important that everyone realizes that.
Yeah. Well, that is the National Suicide Crisis Line, 988.
Yeah.
For veterans, they recommend pushing 1 to direct them to veteran counselors.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
And they specify that when you make that phone call too. It says
Yeah.
if you need this information or you need to talk to this person, then press this number or that. That's the only time that it should ask you that.
Yeah.
So, you're getting married up to the person that is appropriate for your needs. So don't ever be afraid to use those numbers.
Yeah. This one of the areas that we've been lacking in over the last few years, and we've tried, is to try to find shows pertaining to suicide prevention and PTSD. It's difficult to get people on the show to sit there and talk about that.
Definitely.
We used to have a couple groups that we can count on, but they've moved on. So it's difficult. And this right here, I didn't realize leading up to the show that you guys do so much for suicide prevention, and that's something that we need to put out. It was meant to be tonight.
yeah, absolutely.
There is a special date in the calendar, and it is the 22nd of every month. And it says, what does it say?
It says, buddy check. I'm thinking,
Yep, Buddy Check Day.
Buddy check day. I didn't have my glasses with me, guys. Buddy
Yeah.
check day. Yep.
It is in memory of the averaged 22 veterans who commit suicide every day in our services. Every day. On average, we are losing 22 military personnel, whether it be active duty, reserves, it doesn't matter. We are losing because they are afraid, or they're, just in a very bad place. They can't get out of that hole that they dug themselves into. That foxhole is so deep, they can't see the light to get out. So what we've done, not me, but those that started this several years ago, is classifying the 22nd of every month as your buddy check day. So what we do with that day, that's why it's legit on the calendar. So it reminds everybody, contact a veteran or an active duty member that you haven't spoken to in a long time. They could be halfway around the world. They could be right next door and you just haven't seen them, talk to them, say, hey, pick up the phone and go, hey, how are you doing? Let's go grab a drink of coffee, let's meet up, or just, how are you doing? I haven't talked to you in a while, and I do have a specific few battle buddies, albeit they're Army, I'm Navy, so just but yeah, I do have a few battle buddies, and that's what they call me. One of them will actually call me Battle. He say, hey, Battle, how are you doing? I says, I'm doing good. How are you doing, Battle? We throw it back and forth with each other all the time. And it's really good that we're able to connect like that on a specific day, because it could be that one tiny little text message that's reaching out that says, hey, how are you doing today? And that might be just enough to pull that person out of that stupor that they were in. I was just talking to Natasha before the taping and telling her a story of another battle buddy friend of mine, how his brother unknowingly saved his life that night when he made that unexpected phone call to him, because he had all three things laid out: drugs, gun, alcohol. Which one am I going to do? Which one am I going to use? Yeah. And it was his brother who had made a phone call out of the blue, however it was. I don't know. I don't remember the full story, how it worked. I just know the results afterwards. And my friend is still here to this day, and he runs his own nonprofit. He's the president and CEO of another nonprofit. And, it's an amazing day. It's an amazing thing that we need to remember. So I have put that on here so that we can always remember, and our family members and those that, non-family members, out there will be like, hey, you know what? I haven't spoken to this person. Let me go check on them for a while. So,
You touched on something as far as it was his brother that called.
mm-hmm.
It's important to realize that it doesn't have to be another veteran,
Oh, yeah.
family member, neighbor, anyone. You do not have to be a veteran to check on a veteran.
Not at all.
You don't have to be a veteran to check on another non-veteran. That buddy check goes beyond the veteran community.
Oh, yeah.
And that number, 22, based on some of the shows that we've had, some of the experts that have been on the show, years past, that's a low number.
True.
Yeah.
That 22 is it's been put out there. We stayed with it, but the numbers are actually much greater than that.
That's true.
That's true. Navy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Navy right here. Come on.
You're
Come
here.
here. High five. High five. Here we go.
Yeah, but
That was the cheerful part of this. What I'm going to say, this is not the so cheerful part. I served on a ship. I was on a frigate, Truett 1095, FF 1095, one of the old Knox class. And during the course of the 3.5 years that I was on the Truett, we went through 3 suicides. One of them, I was up on a flight deck, the helicopter flight deck, with him until it was 5 hours later when the helicopter finally from stateside came out, because we didn't have the helicopter on board to pick him up. And he ended up passing, a few days later.
Oh, wow, I'm sorry to hear that.
So, I mean, it's not just, you had said foxholes, it's all branches.
It is.
All branches.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
I think you're hard pressed too to find anyone who hasn't experienced it in one way or another, whether it be a friend, a family member, a coworker, even an acquaintance.
Yes.
Suicide has touched everyone's life, I think, at this point in time. Not just because of the things happening in our world with the fighting and the wars and everything, but even going through COVID. And it's crosses all generations, all demographics, all races. It's everywhere. So it's something that we definitely need to talk more about and bring more and more to the forefront.
First responders.
And
Oh,
get rid of the stigma.
definitely first responders,
Yeah.
too.
The more we talk about it, the more we get rid of the stigma that it's okay to feel the way you're feeling, but let's talk it out. Let's address it.
Yeah.
Me coming from corrections, as you know,
Jeez.
Yeah.
retired back in 06, and that occupation pretty much leads most occupations. I definitely see my share. But it's so when we talk about buddy checks, it doesn't have to be just veterans. Everybody.
Definitely. I know one of the other things, since you brought up first responders, is I'm also a firefighter. I'm an ex-EMT now, but yeah, I've seen what suicide looks like on both ends. I've seen, family members, not my own personal family members, but when I go out, I hear the wail of a family member over, the death of their loved one. Children with drug overdoses, they may not be suicides that are intentional, but it's still classified as a suicide. It's an, it's an unwanted, unexpected. And to hear, those families, and it just rips at your heart. And then, it gets at us. We have to be so stoic. It's a military thing too. I mean, we have to be in the box. We have to be strong. We have to be, uber macho. Even as ladies, we still got to be, we got to be tough. We still have to do the job. But then as soon as we come off of that job, what's that going to do to us? How do we deal with it? So, I actually had to sit through, one of those debriefs, and it was extremely emotional because of the type of death that it was and who it was. And it was hard to see one of my fire chiefs break down and cry because it was that tough of a call that we had been on. And, it definitely, we have to talk about it. We have to learn to own what we're feeling. Otherwise, it's going to own us. And then that's what's going to happen here. And that's what suicide prevention is all about, is learning how to be able to talk about it. That's why I'm very passionate about this and why I talk a lot about it whenever I can, because, we need to talk about you and you and you. What's going on with you guys? What's going on with you? How are you feeling? Let us know if there's something wrong. Don't keep it in, no matter what it is.
When you're dealing with veterans, I mean, that's what you do. You keep it in. And first responders.
But I have to say, though, you're going to get a kick out of this. Since you retired way back in the Stone Ages now, right? Yeah, I went there. I'm still in. But I've been in for 22 years already. I've seen a lot of changes in those 22 years. That's where I'm going with this. That we used to be, when I first joined, we didn't really talk about suicide. We didn't really talk about behavioral health. At all. And how it's there to actually help you. If you're on a submarine, heaven forbid, you go to behavioral health and say, I'm not feeling good. I need to talk to somebody. Oh my God, they're writing it up. You can't be on a sub anymore. We're going to have to give you drugs. You can't be on a sub. It's just a horrible attitude that they had. So in the last 20 years, it has rolled over to now we have a very large population of the military community going to behavioral health. They're finally working through the PTSD issues that they have, that they're feeling, and whatever else it is. And it doesn't have to be PTSD related. It's just, I've got stuff going on at home. Let me get it out of my system, and I'm good to go. A lot has changed since you went in, and you would probably be surprised and amazed to walk into the clinics nowadays on base and see the number of folks that are sitting there waiting to talk to their counselors, and they're happy about it. They're okay with it.
79, 83 when I served, we had oars back then.
Okay.
Comment.
It's a Navy thing. Sorry.
Thanks a lot. No comment on it. I mean, you didn't see counselors. We've got like 4 minutes left, 3 minutes left. Why don't we skip to? No. We veered off into something very, very important.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
Suicide prevention.
Yeah,
why don't we jump into why they joined up with the pinup girls?
Natasha, why did you join Pinups? We haven't heard from you, so we'll give you a chance to talk.
So I moved to Connecticut about a couple of years ago, and I was looking for community here and find new friends and people who would be interested in vintage lifestyle, dressing up. And I met Willow through common friends, and I learned more about the cause, which is close to my heart too, because my family has a long history in the Navy in another country. My granddad was in World War II, and I saw what kind of toll it can take on a person. My father was in the Navy too, so killing two birds with one stone. I'm enjoying dressing up, but also I support Willow with a great cause.
And by the way, that's her. That's her.
Oh?
That's her.
That's
right
us.
there. That's us.
Yeah.
Just saying. So yeah, and I have to say I'm extremely happy for the circumstance that led us to meet each other. It was a photo shoot that had nothing to do with Pinups for Warriors. It was just a photo shoot for a photo shoot that a bunch of friends put together. And we just all came together and we just started talking and having a good time. And there's the cover, unexpectedly. And we've been friends ever since. And I appreciate everything that Natasha brings to Pinups for Warriors. Her enthusiasm, her family history, everything. She's been amazing.
Now, the next time we have you back, we're going to ask you that question. We got about 30 seconds left.
Oh,
Is there a website?
I was just going to website.
People can look for to get more information about.
Yes, ma'am, there is. It is pinupsforwarriors.org, and you can also find us on Facebook at Pinups for Warriors. Easy enough. You could also hunt me down under Willow Clausen, founder, and it should pop me right up as well. And we just, we've got calendars, we've got coins, for those of you guys that like coins. And look, we even have patches too for those that like little patches.
Awesome.
So, and these are for you.
Thank you.
So thank you for your service and everything that you've done for us as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice.
With that being said, we're out of time.
Yeah, that went quick.
It goes by fast. I'd love to keep talking. Next time, come back maybe as a doubleheader. But anyways, with that being said, thank you so much for being there.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed yourself. It was an extremely informative. It was a great talk. It was a fantastic talk. With that being said, I want to thank the viewers for watching. See you next time on the Veterans Corner. Good night.
Nick Augustino right here at the East Side Restaurant. We always have the complete full dinner menu. Knockwurst, bratwurst, sauerbraten, potato pancakes, red cabbage, rice pudding, cream pies, all the desserts that Germany had to offer. I always do something different. Yes, I do. I brought seafood to the beer garden at the East Side Restaurant. East Side Restaurant, your German destination restaurant in Connecticut. Tiki-taka, tiki-taka, hoi, hoi, hoi!
I'm your host, Kurt Barwis. Today, I have a very special guest, Dr. Andrew Lin.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Veterans Corner. My name's Chuck Woodin.
Decision for ourselves for this week, if we want to be made well.
Hi, welcome to the crack of dawn. It's Dawn Lombardi. I'm starting the painting. It's going to be the clips with some water. Love it.
He took me on the sets of Lost in Space, Batman.
Everybody has a story. What's yours? Until next time.